This was a 2-year experiment. These are the fastest lenses on the market for micro four thirds cameras. They are low light monsters. You could shoot in a black hole and get a usable image. A set of these cost over $3,500. But are they overrated? They say the glass is more important than the camera. Let's put that to the test, but with a cheap 4K camera. This is the Lumix G7, an affordable starter camera with obvious limitations. The dynamic range and low bitrate being two of the biggest. Let's see what happens when we shoot a film with this combination. Will this prove to be the Jay-Z and Beyonce power couple of the guerrilla filmmaking world? Or not? Off the rip, we gotta test these lenses. Turns out if I go below f1.4, sharpness and contrast takes a hit. Not going below f1.4 with any of these lenses. The footage from these cameras can look a bit punchy. I need to do something about that. So I'm gonna use black Pro Mist filters. These guys soften the highlights and bring up the shadows. It is a subtle effect, but it helps. As we shoot, we'll be hazing out the rooms with little atmosphere aerosol. Helps diffuse the light, softens the shadows a touch. Also allows you to catch light rays on camera, bro. It's good stuff. The film we're gonna use this combination on is called Stay Pretty. The premise. Tiffany, our protagonist, she's dating this guy, right? But over the course of the film, we peel back the onion on Tiffany, revealing something a little unsettling. There's a lot of stuff going on with her underneath the surface. But there is one big, hairy, scary problem with this premise that keeps me up at night. I watch a lot of short films. I share my insights on Patreon. I am meddling in dangerous territory. I have seen hundreds of short films over the years that try and tackle a premise like this, and many of them fall into the same trap. These films tend to be boring and preachy, and a lot of them wind up here, in the preachy film graveyard, where they fade away into obscurity as if they never existed. I've got to do everything within my power to make sure this project never winds up here. I try and look for a unique visual approach with every film, preferably something simple. I use a 3-step process for finding my visual approach. Step 1, identify the underlying theme or mood of the story. In this case, it's an emotion, insecurity. Tiffany's got some big issues with this. Step 2, brainstorm actionable ways to communicate the answer to step 1. We tend to associate mirrors with introspection. So I'm gonna use mirrors as a visual motif, a way to communicate her internal conflict. Step 3, execution. I'm gonna try and shoot off of mirrors, telling the story through reflections where appropriate. Not gonna do it in every scene, just the pivotal ones. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I guess we'll find out. We'll be using 2 of these lenses for this experiment, and hopefully I can keep this project out of the graveyard. We'll see what happens. A quick note on workflow. These are manual lenses. There is no electronic communication between the lens and the camera. If you want to change the aperture, you got to do it on the lens. In terms of workflow, I prefer this. Way more convenient. Scene 1, the action. Tiffany, our protagonist, does Breeze makeup for an upcoming event. We got a little girl talk going on, just a little bit. The whole film hangs on the subtext in this conversation, but you gotta read between the lines to understand what's really going on here. We're gonna fill in all the blanks with performance. In order to make time to get that performance, I gotta keep the shots to a minimum. Establishing shot. I'm getting a medium wide 2 shot of these ladies. Spatial orientation, get a sense of the space, etc. Then I'm going straight for 2 tight matching close-ups. I wanna get close enough to feel these actors thinking, man. I want to get in there. Our girl Tiff, man, she's gonna get 2 close-ups. One with a 25mm lens, so we can squeeze in a little of her action in the frame. Then I'm gonna hit her with that 42.5 for the second close-up. We're going tighter here to really isolate the actor. Here's the thing about this scene though. There has to be an edge to the scene, a hint of menace to the tone. So I'm gonna do something with lighting to get this edginess. I'm going with split lighting here. Half the face will be lit, the other half in shadow. As the conversation progresses, things take a turn. So for Tiff's second close-up, I'm gonna do a fill drop. I'll drop the intensity of the fill light on Tiff by about 10-15%, darkening up those shadows. This effect will be subtle, but effective. I'm thinking between these 2 things, we should get the edginess we need. Here's our plan for lighting. I'm gonna stage the actors by a window, so I can throw a key light outside that window imitating sunlight. I'm gonna use light sticks for fill. These guys are floaters. I can move them where needed as we move along. We're gonna hang some fairy lights behind Tiff. Small lights in the background add depth, and hopefully we can catch a little bokeh action. I've never done this fill drop effect before. Hopefully it works. Workflow. With these lenses, you can declick the aperture for smooth exposure adjustments on the fly. A common feature you find with cinema lenses. Love it, love it, love it. This is Leo, he's from Spain.
Hello guys.
Looks like a model, right?
Yeah.
Sit Indian style right here. Facing that way. While the actors are in hair and makeup, I test out the split lighting scheme. And I'm not seeing what I want to be seeing here. It looks fine, it looks pretty, but that's not what I'm going for. I need that edginess, that hint of menace. I mess with lighting for another 10 minutes and nope, still not seeing it. I think the bounce from his white shirt's ruining the vibe. Maybe things will look different with the real actors in frame, we'll see. But we gotta move on here, the clock's ticking. And then you walk out. something. Or possibly you walk
That way?
that way, yeah. Probably better. While I rehearse with the actors, I'm still thinking about this lighting issue, right? It's hard to focus on directing when half my brain is still thinking about lighting. That way. Yes, so we can get your light. There we go. As they rehearse, I'm looking through frame as well. Still don't see a hint of menace, no edge. I gotta do something. I throw another 20 minutes at the problem. Yeah, I know, ridiculous, but we gotta get this thing. Actors are cooling off a bit. They're not happy with me right now. Nobody likes waiting on lighting, I get it. Getting a little closer, but I'm still not seeing the sauce. We gotta move on. These are my camera settings. Wide shot, 1, boogity boogity. Sweet. Here is our final frame. That far side light you see on Tiff here, that's our key light. It's giving Tiff some nice separation from those curtains. See how this window's kind of blown out here, a little blotchy? The camera can't handle the dynamic range, so we're losing detail here. There's a couple of ways I can fix this, but that's another 20 minutes of work. We don't have time. This is okay for the wide, but I really gotta dial it in for those close-ups. We're moving up to the first close-up on Tiff. Now I need my edginess. Maybe there's still a chance here. I got a couple things to try. I get my frame, I make a couple more adjustments to the fill light, and then this happened. Yeah. There it is, fam. There it is. The hint of... We got the sauce, fam. We got the sauce. Look at how that key light's hitting, bruh. The split right down the face. And look at that shadow game. How the fill comes from below, that bottom lighting action. Kind of like when you see somebody doing this with a flashlight. Look at how dark the eyes are. Edginess all day, every day, twice on Sundays. It's subtle, but it's there. And that's the point. Split lighting, hint of menace, check. If you look at Vaughn's forehead here, we're losing some detail in the highlights. You already know why. Too much contrast, camera can't handle it. I could have fixed this in 2 minutes, but I didn't catch it, wearing the whole 10 hats thing. We rolled off the deliciousness. Oh, moving on to the second close-up, the one with the fill drop. Here we go. Swapping lenses from the 25 to the 42.5 for isolation. Now I ordered a step-up ring so I could use a quarter black Pro Mist with this lens, and it didn't arrive on time. So to get around this problem, I got my guy Jacob Hollywooding the filter, just straight up holding it in place. We lowered the brightness on fill by about 20%, and here is our final frame. The difference is subtle. The shadows are darker, a little more menace going on in there. This frame could be out of a horror movie, but it's not a horror movie, and that's the point. It's a subconscious thing. The audience feels the effect even if they don't see it. If we look at these shots side by side, the difference is obvious. But these shots will not be in sequence. Oh no, I guarantee you, most won't see the difference. We moved on to the reverse close-up on Bree. Here's what we were going for. Here's what we got, and that's a wrap. Little did I know the problems we'd have in the next scene might derail the whole experiment. A quick note about the camera. You can use a monitor with the camera, but the second you press record, the camera stops sending signal to the monitor. You get a screen like this. To get around this, I tape off the flip screen and I use that as my reference. Moving on to the next scene. Here's the action. Tiff and her boyfriend are just, chillaxing. The BF wants a little attention, but Tiff's always on her bloody phone. This feeds into a larger problem Tiff has just bubbling beneath the surface. Here's the challenge though. This scene is the only time we really get to see them together. So we really gotta sell the romantic chemistry between these two. And the scene is really short. It's like only a half a page long. It's gonna be a hard sell. If I'm gonna pull this off, I need my bag of tricks. So I'm gonna use guided improv here. That's right, throwing out the scripted lines. These two actors are really good friends IRL, and with improv, I can pull in some of that natural chemistry. This is gonna make life a little easier. For blocking, I wanna pretzel them up on the couch. We're talking legs all tangled up like. The physical intimacy here says more than words. I'm also gonna shoot most of this baby handheld so I can react quick to whatever the actor's doing. And the final touch, I'm gonna throw some popcorn in the mix, bruh. Popcorn war for the win. This is gonna give the actors something fun to do, something physical. And it's a visual activity I can point a camera at. Show, don't tell. Let's talk shots here. We got a 3-hour window. It's not a lot of time, so I gotta move fast. So I'm shooting everything in a close-up. I still need to establish the scene. So I wanna get a profile close-up of Tiff on her phone and a close-up of the phone for the top of the scene. Should do the trick. Then I'm going for a shot reverse on Vaughn and the BF. These two close-ups are doing all of the heavy lifting, like 98% of the scene will be these two close-ups. If we run short on time, I can cut the first two shots and the scene should still work. That's why I'm gonna shoot these two close-ups first and the other close-ups last if we have time. For lighting, I need this scene to feel bright, sunny, and warm. So I'm using 4 lights. I've got a key light outside that window. This light is imitating sunlight coming through a window. But I'm gonna aim the light at the floor to try and replicate sunlight bouncing off the floor into the room. For light number 2, I'm throwing another key light in the room. This light mat is amplifying what light number 1 is doing, but it's also bringing up the overall ambient light in the room. Gonna brighten everything up. These two lights are gonna give us this nice light wrap around the faces here. Bright, warm, sunny feel, check. Light number 3 is an edge light on the BF. It's gonna give him some separation from the background. For light number 4, I got a floater fan. I'm using it to bottom light the walls behind the actors. Without this light, the walls would be a little too dark. Can we capture real chemistry between these two actors in half a page? Well, we're about to find out. Shooting with a crazy fast lens sounds really sexy, but it's not very practical for filmmaking. When you open the aperture up to anything above f2.0, depth of field starts getting pretty thin. Very hard to maintain focus on a moving subject. Even with slight movements from the actors, you'll find it's easy to buzz focus. You need a dedicated focus puller to make this work. You're gonna blow a few takes just missing focus. Crazy fast lenses really shine in low light photography, shooting things like time lapses, where low light performance is crucial. This ain't the case for filmmaking because we light our stuff. But what about image quality? When Tristan arrived on set, something seemed a little off. He wasn't his usual. Maybe something happened on the way here. I'm sure he'll shake it off. We get the pretzel action going on, you know, tossing some popcorn. Everything's going as planned. We're like ready to go. I'm getting Tiff's close up first. Hopefully this gives Tris some time to shake it off. And things are going okay, but about 2 takes in, I start losing Vaughn. Something's off with her now too. We're in trouble. My actors, bro, they're super stiff. This doesn't work for improv. Improv and stiff don't mix. That's like oil and water. If I can't get them to loosen up, then we might as well call it a day. And then I remembered something. They've been rehearsing for a big play that opens in 2 days. Is it possible that they're worried about this play and it's locking up the performance? How do I fix this? Well, I can't, but we can talk about it. I brought it up. We talked for about 10 minutes. Offered to call the shoot off, we could pick it up another day, but they were down to rally. They wanted to keep going. Okay, well, let's give it another shot. We got back to rolling and the whole vibe changed. Total 180. The sweet chemistry. Chemistry all day, every day, twice on Sunday. We got all the shots we needed, plus like 5 more. I got carried away, man. We were having a good time. I have no clue how this is gonna cut together, but that's a good problem to have. Did we capture romantic chemistry in a half a page? If we can cut this together, then probably yes. It's the next scene that I'm really worried about. Workflow note. These lenses are built like a tank. They are heavy. You could almost do curls with them. Here's a comparison to a similar lens on the market. The added weight helps with handheld shooting. Having a heavier setup really smooths out those micro jitters and things. These guys have a long focus throw, a feature you'll find in most cinema lenses as it makes grabbing focus incredibly easy. Huge plus in workflow, especially if you're working solo. I gotta throw in a curveball, fam. I'm not happy about it. I've shot 4 scenes with the G7, cool. But I can't use this camera anymore. I gotta tap out. When you're wearing a lot of hats, energy is a big deal, bro. Complexity is the enemy of execution. The flip screen, it's small, hard to see, easy to miss important details, especially when you're shooting handheld. Sometimes it's hard to even get eyes on it. On average, it takes me about 3 seconds to find the flip screen. Safe to say I'm doing this about 60 times on a 3-hour shoot. That's 3 minutes of hunting for a screen. This creates fatigue. Gotta retire the G7. To be fair, we said we were using a cheap camera, so I'm gonna shoot the rest with an old school GH4. These cameras are older than dirt and they're pretty cheap nowadays. And that's not all. There's one more thing. We're throwing an anamorphic lens into the mix. Completely different platform. The hole in the back of these lenses is weird looking. It's designed to squeeze the image so that when you de-squeeze it in post, magic happens. You get a wider aspect ratio, oval shaped bokeh, yada yada yada. Mixing platforms is kind of a no-no because the difference in aesthetic can be potentially distracting. But I'm gonna do it anyway, because I got an idea. I'm gonna use an anamorphic lens on the more surreally parts of the story to include the next scene that we're shooting. And I'm using the Voigtlanders for all the rest. Here's the idea. People won't notice the aesthetic difference, but they'll feel the effect. This either works or it blows up in my face. I'm cool either way. I am keen as mustard to shoot this next scene because this is where I get to tell the story through reflections. Been looking forward to this all week. Here's the action. Tiff snapping at her boyfriend's place. She wakes up to find makeup on her pillow. Embarrassed. She goes to the bathroom to clean it up and spruce up a bit, then returns to bed, all careful like so as not to wake up the BF. The challenge here, we're telling the story from Tiff's perspective, right? So she doesn't want to get caught. She's being sneaky. I need to shoot this in a way that captures those sneaky vibes. The mirrors are gonna come in handy for this. And when she gets back in bed, this is actually a huge moment for her. I'm gonna come back to this. Shot 1, close up of Tiff and the BF in bed. She wakes up, sees the pillow, and tiptoes out of frame, pillow in hand. Shot number 2, medium 2 shot off the closet mirror. We see her leave to the bathroom and we can see BF sleeping in the same shot. I plan to shoot off the closet mirror here to get those sneaky vibes. Kinda like we're spying on her, that's the plan. Shot 3 and 4, close-ups of Tiff in the bathroom, cleaning the pillow, reapplying the makeup. I'm going handheld here because it needs to feel like we're spying on her from the adjacent room. Shot 5, it's a dirty medium shot of Tiff from across the bedroom as she does her makeup. This shot is just here to remind the audience that he's still nearby, sleeping. He could wake up at any moment. Shot 6 and 7, close-ups of BF in case we need them. If we're short on time, I can cut these and we can pick them up later. But the shot I'm worried about is shot number 8, when Tiff returns to bed. This is her lowest point in the story. If I fumble this moment, the film is not gonna work, and I have no clue what I'm gonna do for this shot yet. I need to frame this moment in a way that captures that internal conflict. I need a flippin' magic shot here. Something sticky, something memorable. I'm hoping I can figure something out on the day. I'm not gonna worry about it. We're shooting the bathroom scene first because we only need 1 actor for this. It's not a full bathroom, it's like a half bathroom. If there's one thing I hate, it's lighting small spaces. So I'm gonna use 2 lights here. I'm gonna use a key light in the bathroom and then I'm gonna throw a fill light in the hallway. That bathroom light needs to be something really small I can tuck away as we got lots of mirrors in there. Boom. To the naked eye, it looks lit, but it won't in camera. This light panel in the kitchen here, this is our fill. Think of it as sunlight pouring through a window somewhere off screen. This light's gonna bounce around all over the place and bring up the ambience in that bathroom so I can shoot at f4. Lighting worked out on the first try and it only took me 30 minutes to set up. That is the sauce. A little PD action, tossing in some cheap mirror cubes. Does it make sense to have random mirror cubes just hanging out here? Fuck no, but we're doing it anyway because it's dope. These will add depth and dimension. These are my camera settings for the GH4. Bear in mind, this whole scene needs to feel sneaky. So I'm gonna be shooting from the other room through the doorway, dirtying up the frame, so it feels like we're peeking around a corner at her. 4.0. First shot of the day, close up, cleaning the pillow. Here is our final frame. Look at the depth those mirror cubes are adding to the frame here. Something so simple makes such a big difference. Plus, we got some of that schmexy anamorphic light streak action. Schmexy. We knocked out that second close-up, reapplying the makeup. I wanted a tighter shot, so I got a little closer, and I'm using the door here to dirty up the frame. Sneaky vibes all day, every day, twice on Sunday, bro. I knew this would work like a charm. We captured a beautiful moment of introspection using that bathroom mirror, going back to that motif, telling the story through reflections. I love it when a plan comes together. Knocked out the dirty medium on Tiff from across the room. So far, everything is going as planned. I'm feeling good, but I still don't know what I want to do for this shot. A little worried. Moving on to the bedroom scene. Here's the room as is. Yuck. Should feel bright, should feel sunny. Let's fix this. Throwing a key light outside that bedroom window to imitate sunlight. For fill, I'll just use a light stick. This will be my floater. While we're at it, let's get some PD going. Borrowed this ugly Spaceballs poster from a friend. Here's the room before, and then here's the room after a little lighting and PD. Bright sunny vibes, check. Bounce. Slept it. I'm going straight for the wake up shot first here as there'll be more performance involved. The rest should be easy pickings if we knock this one out. So good. Got it. For the medium 2 shot here. Remember, gotta feel sneaky. This little detail on the door here. I want to frame up a shot and dirty the frame up with that little mofo. That's gonna give us some magic. You can see how shooting off the mirror here gives us those voyeuristic vibes. We've also got a frame within a frame, so we're getting some depth. And look how dirty this is. Look at what we're doing to this guy. Beautiful. The next thing to consider, can I capture all the action I need with this frame? I need to see Tiff look at the pillow, exit frame, and tiptoe to the bathroom, all in this shot. If we can accomplish all of that in one frame, we can reduce some of the cuttiness. It works in one frame, fam. That is the sauce. That last shot was dope. Turned out way better than I expected. And then I know what I need to do for the magic shot. But before I go there, you need to know something about Vaughn, the actor. She has this quality about her. She's one of those people where you always want to know what she's thinking. She has what I like to call a philosopher's gaze. When you catch her thinking about something, it looks like she could be solving the mysteries of the universe when really she could just be thinking about ice cream. It's a funny thing, man. I gotta capture that gaze of hers, and I think I know of a way to do it for the magic shot. So here's our final frame. Vaughn's gonna enter frame here. To really push that claustrophobic feeling, 2/3 of the frame is just gonna be straight up white wall, leaving us this third here for all of the action. Nothing says claustrophobic like cramming a character into a third of the frame, just smashing him into the edge of the frame. When Vaughn gets into bed, I want her head to land right here inside this box. Metaphorically, she'll be trapped inside the box. We're gonna blow a lot of takes just getting her to hit that mark alone. The timing, the blocking, and the performance all have to be dialed in for this to work. But if we pull this off, bruh, we got something sticky. Let's make some magic happen. Getting in and out of a bed 15 times is nobody's idea of fun. But, well, she killed it. Magic shot, check. And we knocked out the last 2 close-ups, easy peasy, mac and cheesy. I thought the worst was over. Little did I know what would happen next could send this whole project here. We've shot 5 scenes at this point, 3 more to go. And then, of course, we shut down production on this thing. During the pandy, both Vaughn and Tristan, my actors, moved to LA. Good luck, fam. I know you're gonna kill it out there. The last 3 scenes had to be scrapped, and these were actually big scenes. So heartbreaking. The big question here, can we save the film in the editing room with what we have? We looked through all the footage. It doesn't look possible.
We're gonna do the best we can with what we've got, bring out what's there, but it's gonna be an experiment, man. To be like, all right, guys, what do you think? You know what I mean?
In addition, we'll need some audio cleanup in a few areas.
Not too much. Trust me, I gotcha.
This is a situation where you'd re-record those lines. Only that's not an option. We have to make the best out of the production audio we have. Looks like we'll be doing post sound on hard mode too. Edit 1 sucked. Edit 2 worse. Edit 3 a little better. Edit 4 worse. Edit 5 doesn't work. This is not looking good. And then it hit me. These edits, they're not working because I'm still holding on to my original vision. If we're gonna save this film, I gotta let that go. We'll have to re-envision the whole thing from the ground up. What if the best we could do is something that ends up here? Well, I guess a forgettable film is better than an unfinished one. Let's do it. Oddly enough, what we wound up with is in some ways better than what I set out to do. So, do cheap cameras benefit from high quality glass? Did all of my experiments work? Well, you be the judge.
Hey, babe, hurry up. I gotta take a piss.
Just a minute.
Hey, can you hurry up?
Not too much.
Trust me, I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
It's a special day. Don't you want to mix it up a little?
What do you mean?
Like, mix things up a little bit.
Hey, off the phone. We talked about this.
Okay, fine. Makeup's not really his thing.
How do you know?
Tiff. He's a hiker. He barely wears deodorant. He's like Mr. Organic.
But did he say it?
Say what?
Did he say he likes you barefaced? Natty, no makeup?
He's not a fan of chemicals. I swear to God.
Oh no. I think I have heart failure.
You deserve it. But did he say it?
He doesn't have to.
So you're assuming?
I think if Jeff had a problem, he would have said something by now. Don't you?
Maybe. Maybe not.
What are you getting at?
Boys don't always say what they think.